Alright, hi, good day everyone. So today we'll be doing May, June 2025. And as we know, number 4 is our relations and functions and graph question. So let's look at the question first and see what they said. They said below, the graph below shows a straight line PQ, right? Okay, so let's go to the next page. Find the gradient of the line. Now, to find the gradient of the line, what I would do is find the coordinates of the starting point and ending point, or basically find the coordinates of P and Q first, and then use those coordinates to find the gradient of the line. So P, x is -2, y is -3, so this is -2, -3. -2, -3, and then Q is 3, 7. So x is 3, y is 7. Right? Also take into consideration, because I'm not sure if they would ask you the equation of the line, your y-intercept is where your line intersects your y-axis. So that means x is 0 here and y is 1. So C, if they ask you at any point in this question to find the equation of the line, C would be 1. Right? Right, so let's go to the other page and write down the information given. We know that P was negative, right, P was -2, -3, -2, -3, and Q was, just to make sure, I believe it was 3, 7, but yeah, 3, 7. Right. Q was 3, 7. Now to find the gradient of the line, we know gradient is also m is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's up to you to choose which one is point 1 and point 2. I'm just going to put it in the order I wrote it. This is x1, this is y1, and this is x2, y2. So this would be 7 minus 3, because it's minus y1, which is -3, over 3 minus 2, which will turn to 7 plus 3 over 3 plus 2, because as we know, a negative and a negative is positive. So this is 10 over 5, which is equals to 2. So the gradient of PQ is 2. Write down the equation of the line PQ. So again, we know gradient is 2, and C, which is my y-intercept, we already said was 1. Right? From the graph, the line at where this line intersects your y-axis, the y value is your y-intercept, or your C value. So this would be, that's how I know it's 1. You can calculate it if you want, but if you understand it, it's just less working. Plus this is 1 mark, so it's more of an understanding than anything. So we would know y is equals to 2x plus 1, and that is the answer for this. Right, next question is a functions, okay, it's a functions question, part B, and then we have, okay, right, so they told you that f of x is x squared minus 1 and g of x is 3x plus 2. I said that, or in our classes, we said that anything that is in our brackets here is what x is equal to. So they're telling you x is equal to -6 in our function g of x. Right? So that would be 3 by -6 plus 2. 6 3s are 18, so it's -18 plus 2, which is equals to -16. And that would be the answer for this question. Then they say find the inverse of g of x. Let's just right, so I don't have to scroll up. They told you that g of x is 3x plus 2, and we know to find the inverse of a function is 3 steps. Step 1, let y be equals to g of x. So y is now 3x plus 2. Step 2, you're going to interchange or exchange x and y. What that means is wherever you see x, you put y, and vice versa. So instead of y, it is going to be x is equals to 3y plus 2. And then your third step would be to make y the subject. Now, typically when we're making something the subject, we go backwards from BODMAS, right? Which is, you go backwards from BODMAS. So we ask ourselves, is there subtraction? No. So you don't have to, there's no subtraction to carry across first. Is there addition? Yes. So we're going to carry across plus 2. Anytime we carry something over the equal sign, it's the opposite. So the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. So x minus 2 is equals to 3y. Carry across this. Cross it off. Is there multiplication? Yes, the relationship between 3 and y is multiplication. So if we carry across multiply by 3, it will turn to divide by 3. So it's x minus 2 all divided by 3 is equals to y. Once we have solved for y, that's it. Once we have solved for y, g inverse of x is now equal to what y is equal to, which is x minus 2 over 3. And that would be your answer for part 2. Right, so now we're going on to part 3a. Show that fg of x is that minus or equal to, hold on, is equal to 3 by 3x plus 1 by x plus 1. Now, we know that if we see more than one function together, it's a composite function, right? So if we look at this, let's just take a picture of this to put it on the other page so that we would not have a problem. We'll have to go back and forth, right? Let's put it on top here. Okay, so the first thing is we need to find fg of x. So f, whenever you're doing composite functions, the first step is to separate your two functions, right? So you put a bracket between f and g. Right, now again, whatever is in your bracket is what x is equals to. So we know g of x, this is actually equal to f. And what is g of x? 3x plus 2. And I said whatever is in my bracket is what x is equal to. So x in my function f of x would be equal to 3x plus 1. So wherever I see x in my function f of x, I'm going to put 3x plus 1. So that means f of 3x plus 2 would be equal. So instead of x squared, we're going to replace it with 3x plus 2 squared minus 1. Now, if you guys recall, we are going to square this. This is 9x squared. And it's going to be plus 4 here. Then we are going to 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12. So this would be 12x minus 1. Right? So we have 9x squared plus 12x plus 3, right? We see that they kind of remove 3 from it, and you can also see that all numbers that could go into 9x squared, what could go into 9, 12, and 3? 3. So this is going to be, we're going to factorize out that 3, so it's going to be 3 by what is 9x squared? 3 by 3x squared. 3 by what is 12x? 3 by 4x. and 3 by what is 3? 3 by 1. Right? Then you're going to factorize what is in our bracket here. Now, when factorizing, the first thing you do is identify A, B, and C. So A in this is the coefficient of x squared, which is 3. B is the coefficient of x, which is 4. C is the coefficient, well, a constant, which is 1. Find AC, which is 3. Factors of 3 is 1 and 3. What are you going to do with 1 and 3 to get 4? You're going to add them. So B is equals to 3 plus 1. So you're going to have 3x squared plus 3x plus x plus 1. Then you factorize the first pair. What could go into 3x squared and what could go into 3x? 3x. So that's 3x by x plus 1. What could go into x and plus 1? 1. And this would also be x plus 1. When we factorize and your brackets are the same, you make it into one bracket. So this would be x plus 1. And then in the other bracket is going to be what is outside, which is 3x plus 1. So this is now equal to 3 by what was in the bracket? 3x plus 1 by x plus 1. And this is how you would do part 3A for number 4. Last one, how to solve the equation g of x, fg of x is equal to 0. Now, when we see this word hence, right, it is a clue that, listen, I need you to look at what you have used above or what you have solved from before to solve this. So we know that fg of x was equal to 3 by 3x plus 1 by x plus 1. Now you're going to let 3 by 3x plus 1 equal by x plus 1 equal to 0. Carry across and multiply by 3 will turn to divide by 3. So you have 3x plus 1 by 3 by x plus 1 is equal to 0. Right? Now, after that, you're going to let each bracket be equal to 0. So you're going to let 3x plus 1 be equal to 0, and then you're going to let x plus 1 be equal to 0 and make x the subject. So if 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, then 3x would be carry across plus 1, that will turn to minus 1. Then you carry across multiply by 3. The opposite of multiply by 3 is divide by 3. So you'll get minus 1 divided by 3. So you know x is minus a third. Or if x plus 1 is equal to 0, carry across plus 1. So x would be negative 1. So my two answers would be x is minus a third or x is equal to negative 1. And that is how you would do this question, part 3. Number 4, part 3, part B, and that is the end of May-June 2025, number 4.